Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Sandy Smith, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Class 1 Kim Owen. We warmly welcome the family of Lance Sergeant Herbert Glenmore Atfield, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you are able, I now invite you to please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is got by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
For those who are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Lance Sergeant Herbert Glenmore Atfield. Herbert Atfield, known affectionately as Bun, was born on the 31st of March 1893 in Bega, New South Wales, the fourth of 5 surviving children of William and Elizabeth Atfield. Growing up, he attended schools at Bega, Tarara Public School and Ryde. Herbert's mother died in 1908 when he was a teenager. In June 1911, his older brother Will was killed after being struck by a mail train at Hornsby on the way to work. Herbert found solace as a member of the Thornley Methodist Church, where he assisted with Sunday school and was known for his strong bass voice. He was also a keen local athlete and was held in high esteem. Herbert Atfield was working as a grocer when the First World War began. He enlisted for service in the Australian Imperial Force at Liverpool on the 18th of July 1915. After initial training, he was allotted to reinforcements to the 18th Battalion. Before his departure for service, Atfield and other recruits from the Hornsby Pennant Hills area were given a send-off in the Thornley School of Arts Hall. In front of a packed house, the men were presented with wristwatches. Atfield embarked from Sydney on the 2nd of November aboard the transport ship Euripides, bound for Egypt. Arriving in Alexandria, he was taken on strength of the 18th Battalion before sailing for France in mid-March. Arriving at Marseille, the men were sent by rail straight to the nursery sector, where they began training in earnest for war on the Western Front. The battalion entered the front at the end of April and spent the next 3 months rotating in and out of the trenches. In July, the 18th Battalion marched south to the Somme. Atfield went into action for the first time at Pozières on the 27th of July, taking part in the shambolic initial attack on the German OG positions. The battalion went on to defend what remained of Pozières village and endured a hellish bombardment before being relieved on the 5th of August. 6 days later, Atfield was evacuated suffering neuritis, a nerve inflammation in his right arm. After several days at a casualty clearing station, he was sent to a convalescent hospital at Balloon to recover. Atfield rejoined the 18th Battalion in December, spending time rotating between the front line, supports and rest positions. The 18th Battalion spent the majority of January at Dernancourt training and resting. Late in the month, Atfield was promoted to temporary corporal before his battalion relocated to Albert. In early February, the German army began withdrawing to their prepared defensive position known as the Hindenburg Line. The 18th Battalion took part in the fighting around Wallencourt and the pursuit of the German army, suffering further casualties as they neared the Hindenburg Line. On the 2nd of April, Atfield was promoted to Lance Sergeant, becoming Platoon Sergeant of 2 Platoon, A Company. After a relatively quiet April, the battalion re-entered the front line in early May in preparation for a second battle of Bullecourt. The first attack on Bullecourt had been disastrous, but it was hoped that this second attack would be successful. The attack began in the early hours of the 3rd of May. The 5th Brigade, of which the 18th Battalion was a part, was on the right of the advance. The men suffered heavy casualties from German machine gun fire. As the 17th Battalion reached the German wire in front of Rheincourt, the advance was halted. The 18th began its attack, sustaining heavy casualties from German machine guns. According to eyewitnesses, Atfield was shot through the head around 20 yards from the German front line and died several minutes later. He was believed to have been given a battlefield burial near where he died, but his last resting place was lost during subsequent fighting. He was 24 years old. Today, Herbert Atfield is commemorated on the Australian National Memorial at Villas Bretonel. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Lance Sergeant Herbert Glenmore Atfield, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.